let's enter in supply inventory. We are in the administrative aspect of the system. We will go right to masters, down to inventory, and then we will select med supplies items. We make that selection, and this is where we add new supplies into the system. So we will select new. We will enter an item code. Now this can be a code that you internally make within your practice, or you can go ahead and use the HCPC code as an item code, and that's what we like to do. So we're going to go ahead and enter in shoulder, elbow, wrist orthosis, which will be 3960 is the HCPC code. Next we move on, and we're going to go ahead and get the HCPC code actually selected. So we click on the binoculars, and we're going to do a search for L3960. Unclick favorite, so it opens up all of the CPT codes. Double click in the code box and type in L3960, which is the code we want to look up. And then when that pops up, we go ahead and make that selection and click OK. And that brings in the HCPC code for billing purposes. Now you can see we have 3 more asterisks. We have to make sure we complete these mandatory fields. So the next one that we're going to complete is the description of the code. And so we go ahead and use the AAPC's description, which is in within the AMA CPT guidelines. We're going to copy that. We're going to enter that in as the description. You can use your description that you wish to use as well. Next, we're going to decide on how do we want to bill these. Do we want to do it by pack or unit? We're going to do it as a unit. And then thirdly, then we decide on what is the rate then for that unit. In other words, what are we charging for that one brace? And let's say that we're charging $150. So what have we done so far? We're adding in a new brace. It is a shoulder brace. It's the L3960 on the HCPC code. We've got our description in. We're selling it by the unit, and that unit rate per brace is $150. And so we go ahead and click OK. And that brings it right into the system that we have a supply in our system, and we currently have lumbosacral orthosis, knee orthosis, and now we have shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand orthosis. And we're going to click Done. So now the next thing we want to do is we need to put in how many of those braces we actually have on hand. And so we're going to go back to Masters, go back to Inventory, and then we're going to go to Med Supplies Stock. So in Med Supply Stock, we need to bring in that shoulder brace, and so we're going to click on New, and then we're going to look for our item with this drop down menu, and there it is. We'll select that. We see the stock receipt date is today's date. If we know the manufacturer name, we can use the drop down and put that in. The lot number would be the number that we have assigned to the brace, and let's just say it's 4500. We have an expiration date, and so if you have a supply such as nutritional product, they come with expirations. Usually with orthopedic type supplies like this orthosis, we primarily recommend a 3 to 5 year lifespan on the shelf. So we're going to go ahead with a 5-year lifespan. And then we've got a stock number that is automatically assigned, and then the location. You can either have the inventory cut across all locations or maybe one specific location. And then finally, what is your initial quantity that you are stocking this brace in? And we'll go ahead and list 1. So what have we done here? We are bringing in a new brace that we've already registered in the system. Now we are going ahead and assigning a quantity so that we can keep track of the inventory of that brace, and we'll click OK. And there you see we've got at the very top that new brace that we just put in. Quantity on hand is 1. We have a knee orthosis in the system, but if you notice, the quantity on hand is 0, telling us we probably need to get one ordered. And then we have a lumbosacral orthosis, and we have one on hand there as well.